Well, here we go. Now, again with the yeah, I look a little different. I did have to kind of shave and look better for an appointment that I had going on. It just sometimes sitting alone in the house all the time makes us kind of not care about shaving, right? I should anyway, but such is life. Yesterday, I did not get a chance to make a video, do an update, do really anything. My wife was working, so I had the little boogers and I ran out of duct tape and Benadryl. So, no, not really. But I when they're kind of little like that, it's hard to just walk off and leave them. And just say, all right, I'm heading to the office, even though the office is 30 feet away. But I was able to do one appointment online, which was awesome because I love that little mute and kill video button on these virtual meetings because anytime the kids are yelling and screaming, hey, I need help up here. Yeah, you have to kind of run. So, but I had a team member on with me, so they were able to do most of it. But as far as the call reluctance and everything going on, yesterday it was just lots of activity. The step count was huge because I'm chasing the little guys around, so no big deal. That's good. So I got some exercise in. And I do normally when I watch them, when I keep my boys, which is great because it keeps me moving, keeps my brain working. They constantly do that. But I'd completely forgotten I had ordered this, and it came in yesterday, and I started reading it, and I was just, wow, this describes it. This nails it. Get a chance, get this book. Just get it. If you're having the same issues that I am, get it. All right? Or anything close to it. Even if you're not, if you're a salesperson and it'll never happen to me. It'll never happen. That's kind of what I was thinking too, I'll never have that problem. Whatever. It makes sense. Just reading through it, and it goes through and it talks about case studies where people have been in the business for years and all of a sudden they just kind of get hit with they get those angry birds start landing in their head, and if they don't notice them, and this is me talking, this is my theory, if they don't notice them, if they don't immediately address it, it can kind of hide in the back recesses of your mind and just start building a little nest, and then just kind of all of a sudden, there it is. It's like, hey, guess what? You don't like making phone calls. You don't like prospecting right now. And then you're screwed. And then you don't know where to go. You don't know how to dig that thing out. You don't know how to root that nest out, and how to get rid of those angry birds that have been settling in your mind. The ideas, the thoughts, the mindsets, the things that are happening. Yes, I see the glare. I'm sorry. There. Hopefully that'll help. But this book, I just started reading it, and I'm on page 9, and I'm like, why hasn't any of the sales managers or professionals or anybody that I've talked to ever said, go get that book? Ever said, hey man, this is this will help you. It has some answers in it. If it doesn't fix you completely, at least you know where you stand. You've got some ideas and what's going on in your head. Okay? Because yes, I get out and I work out and I'm feeling great and I'm doing awesome, and then I come and I can pound out a couple, 3, 4, 5 phone calls, and all of a sudden it's just like you get that muscle spasm again. Mental muscle spasm, because you fight off that bird, fight off that angry bird, and that mindset that keeps pounding away, but you still got the nest built in there that you have to root out, or those things just keep coming back. And this is helping me dig down to the ultimate end, what is actually going on in my brain and my mind. And it talks about some things that have really made sense just in the 9 pages, you know. Fear of self-promotion. Fear of self-promotion. And it's not talking about, you know, being prideful and throwing yourself out there and, hey, man, I can do all of it, and I am the man. I am the one. No, it's a healthy regard for who and what you are and what you're capable of. And that in and of itself is not pride. That is it, and I've thought this for a long time. You know, fears are a lot of times actually more or less pride. That's what fears, a lot of times fears are. Fears are, well, I don't want to look stupid, so I'm not going to do that. That's your pride speaking. And yeah, I got a lot of problems with that sometimes. Oh, I don't want them to think I'm something I'm not. You know, or I don't want them to think that I am incapable, or I don't want them to think that I you know, can do this or should do this, or I don't want them to ask too much of me, or I don't want, you know, it's not wanting to put yourself out there for fear and for pride. And it's false humility. That's all. That's pride. That's the very definition of pride. False humility. Okay? So, fear of self-promotion. False humility. It's the same thing. Fear of self-promotion. And yeah, I understand that situation because, you know, I've always had it in my brain and had it in my mind, and I don't want to over promote myself. I don't want to promote myself and set myself up when all the glory should be going to God, honestly. But here's the thing. You can't cast your crowns at Jesus' feet if you don't have any crowns. You can't give all your glory to God if you have none to give. You can't promote the kingdom if you have nothing to promote it with. So, I'm not, and this is the reasoning that I've had to come to grips with. I'm not out there promoting myself for myself. I'm out there promoting myself to get the rewards so that I can use it for my family, my kingdom, my God, my, you know, everything else. It's not self-promotion for the sake of self-promotion. I'm not putting myself out there to make myself look great. I'm putting myself out there and promoting myself to improve the situations and the existence and the standing of my family and my people and my God, my Lord. So it is self-promotion in a sense, but it's not a fake, prideful self-promotion. And the other problem is, if you have the direct opposite, the false humility, that is in and of itself the very definition of pride. So this book has been pointing a lot of that stuff out, and a lot of that was my words coming out and the evidence of what I've dealt with and the experiences that I've had. But ultimately, this thing is getting into it. You know, one of the things, too modest to toot your own horn. That's not always modesty. You know, it goes into the idealistic myth and talking about that. And it talks about, you know, where all that comes from. That movie, The Death of the Salesman, that was the death of many salespeople in reality, because it really screwed up our mindsets. You know, it talks about the practical ideology versus the myth of ideology on a lot of these things. So, this has been helpful. Just the first 9 pages, I got to tell you. And, you know, just as much as the getting out and the mental exercise, I bought a course, part of a course, not a full course, part of a course. And it is ultimately what I want to do one day, but I got to work through this problem first. If I can't succeed here, I'm not going to succeed anywhere. That's just it. The same with you. If you get out there and you find that you're having problems with call reluctance, or having problems with self-promotion, or having problems with any of this stuff, and you think a change of venue will fix it, it won't. If you think a change of product will fix it, it won't. If you think a change of location or circumstance or anything else, it won't. Once these things are deep ingrained in your mind and your being, you have to root them out so that you can step forward to succeed. That's just it. You know, you cannot keep doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting a different result. And this doesn't I mean, this even happens with veterans. You know, I know guys that say, oh, just pound them out, pound them out, pound them out, and they'll get easier. You know, the shock therapy sort of thing. And just the mere fact that it happens to veterans in the industry, veteran salespeople in the industry, is proof that that's not true. That's not going to help. Some people it might, but for the most part, you know, just jumping in and throwing yourself at it and saying, oh yeah, I got this now, it's just going to delay the effects. It's just going to either let it build up later, and it might explode worse later, or it's just going to delay those effects. It's not going to help it. It's not going to cure it. It's not going to fix it. You got to dig in and figure out what's going on in your mind and your heart, why you're having these problems. You know, and my experiment with doing the workouts and the exercise, and when I had one of those evil, angry bird thoughts landing in my head, you know, getting up and working out and moving it and getting my endorphins and my adrenaline flowing was helping. It actually does help. It you know, there's no denying that, but it's a temporary fix. That's what I'm finding. It's like a shot of coffee or, you know, a Bang energy drink. It's a temporary fix. It helps you work through that you know, it's a Band-Aid. That's all it is. It helps me get past the next half hour, 45 minutes, or an hour. But then, you know, it sets in again. All right? No telling what's going to happen in the future if I keep doing it like this, if it's going to alleviate it, or if it's going to just let it build up and get worse, because the thoughts and the mindset's still in there somewhere hiding. But it's helping. But I got a feeling that this is going to help out a lot. Okay? So I'm going to be going through it and talking a little bit about it. The more I delve into it and the deeper I get into it. This thing's huge. So I mean, there's no, I mean, 300 and with notes and everything, it's 400 something pages, 419 pages. But it's been well worth the read so far. All right. So God bless. Have a great day. Talk to y'all soon.